Hey there, Tesla fans. Aaron Rath from Rat's Tesla. One of my last videos, I talked about these little lights that I purchased for the back end of my Tesla. They run off a USB-C. I'm going to replace them today, and that's what this video is about. All right, so I bought these little lights, and I think I paid like $10 for them on Amazon, so it's not like I'm losing a lot. I'll put a link down below in the description if you really want these. They do run off a USB-C ports, and I had these plugged in facing downwards in the back. They change colors. I think there's like 10 different colors that they can have. But I bought those because I like the back end of my car lit up in the footwells like the front end of the car is lit up in the footwells. The problem with that is the windows are so dark, and when I park in the garage, these are photosensitive. So they stay on all the time. They don't shut off at night. Well, I really don't want to take a chance of running my battery down or affecting the power in the car, so I unplug them most of the time. So I'm going to change them out today, and I actually got this from Abstract Ocean. I'm not sponsored by them. They didn't give me this product for free. I paid for this myself, and this is Model 3 and Y rear footwell lights. And they have them in multiple colors. They have white, blue, purple, I don't know all the colors. But I'll put a link to these down below. They're like $69.99, so a little bit more expensive than the other lights. But these plug in to the existing footwell lights up front. So as we open the package, we'll open it up. And there's a few things in here. There's some double-sided tape and 4 zip ties to tie this stuff up underneath the seats. And then there's this bundle of wires here. And in this bundle of wires, if I can get it untangled, are 2 separate lights. Okay, so they're the exact same. There's not a driver and passenger, they're the exact same. So we'll just look at one. So on the light piece, you'll see that there is a side that has the light on it, and then a flat side. This flat side will go up under the footwell underneath the seat so that it shines down in the car. There's notches cut out, so we'll have to climb underneath there and see how we're going to mount them. There's double-sided sticky tape. There's also zip ties, so there's many ways to mount this. We'll have to get under there and look. And then as we look at the other end, pretty good cable. I'd say probably close to 6 feet. Yeah, probably 6 feet. I'm a little over 6 feet tall, so there is a plug. Oop, dropped it on the ground. Don't want to do that. There is a plug that has 2 pieces. So when we get underneath the car, you'll see in the footwell, we're going to unplug the light that's in the footwell, and we're going to plug it into one of them, and then we'll plug the other end into the footwell light. So it's going to take that power and run it from the footwell light. The good thing is that means that these will only turn on when the footwell light turns on. So let's go underneath the footwell, and we're going to use the passenger side as an example because it's easier to get to. The driver side is the same exact installation. You're just running it through a different panel and you're plugging it into the light on the driver's side. So we're just going to look at the passenger side, and then you can do it on the driver's side on your own. But let's go look at underneath that footwell area on the passenger side. All right, so here we are underneath the passenger side footwell. A couple things to point out here with our screwdriver. This is the light that we're going to connect into, and this panel goes back here, up, around, and down here. And this is going to remove this whole panel to make it easier to plug into. So really easy to pop these out. If you look at this one in the corner, and I'll see if I can zoom in on what I'm doing here. So you can see here, I'm just popping down on the inner part, and then just going to take my screwdriver and just kind of pop the entire piece down. And then you've got this. There's 4 of those. So we'll back out the camera and we'll pull those 4 out. All right, so there's 4 of them. There's one here. I already pulled this one. There's one up here in the corner. So we'll pop the inner part, and then we'll pop the outer part out. So that's 2. There's one right here. Again, pop the center and then pop the outer part out. And then there's one more back here. So we'll pop this center piece out and then pop the outer piece out. You want to be careful not to break these. I mean, although you can find them on Amazon in a kit. And I'll actually put a link to that kit down below, because if you work on cars, you're going to need a lot of these little push pins. And it's really not that expensive. I think I paid like 15-20 bucks for the whole kit. So now that those are all out, we're just going to kind of take our screwdriver and get it up underneath here, and that'll put us in a position where we can just pop this whole panel out. And now you can see as we take this out, there's some insulation. Want to be careful not to rip that. You'll see that here's our light, and you'll notice that it has the plug in there. And I'll move our camera down so we can show the work here. So now I'll bring in the plug from the light, and you'll notice that there's a little press here. You press on that and it just pops right out. Now you'll see that there's only one way to plug this in. So we're going to match this one up, plug it into the new plug until it clicks into place, and then we'll plug it in to the light. Now my lights aren't on because I've had my door open for a long time, so we're gonna not see that light here yet. But all right, so I closed all the doors, and now you can see that I have that plugged in. The under light there is on, and this light is on. So now all we have to do is to put this back up and kind of tuck this cable here so that I can run everything through the car. So we're gonna just kind of leave that like that and go from there, and then we'll see how we're gonna run this. So now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna kind of pry this little edge up, and like I said, we'll leave this up tucked up because I don't want to have to clip it out and clip it back in. We're gonna kind of just slide this all the way around the back, and we're gonna tuck it up underneath this edge piece here. You'll notice that this edge piece weather stripping comes out, so we're just going to pop this up, and we're going to pry this piece up just a little bit. We don't need to go all the way, just enough that we can run this cable underneath this side, and we're going to just kind of tuck it up underneath until we get over to the side here. And I'll move the camera here in just a second to show you where we moved it to. And I'm not pushing anything back into place or putting anything back in solid yet until I know it's underneath there just right. So now you can see that I've tucked it up underneath this plastic piece, and I have it just kind of coming out right here. And as you look at your seat, you'll see the seam in the carpet right here that just velcros in place. So we're just going to kind of take that, unvelcro it, and we're going to kind of slide this stuff all in place. I'm going to slide it up underneath the carpet, and then we're going to tuck this light underneath that little rail. Oh, you got to go on top of this rail, excuse me, because if you go under the rail, you end up in the little hump that's down there. So we've got to fish our way through this rail here, and it's just a matter of finding the spot where it goes underneath to the seat. And we're gonna keep trying this. You just got to kind of push it, and then you can grab up underneath there and just pull it through. Now we're going to make sure that we have everything tucked up neat and out of the way so it looks clean. So as we put the Velcro, the carpet back, you can see it's tucked up there. And then as we start clipping this back into place, you can see it's tucked up underneath here. So this is all back into place. We'll keep it tucked up underneath there. We'll put our weather stripping back into place, and that will hide that entire piece. And nice clean. And now we'll go back in and we'll put this back in just a minute up top here, where my hand's at, where we looked at the footwell. I'll put all those in just a minute. But now, all right, so work is all done. I want to point out that I did use a couple different zip ties. I had some bigger ones that I had personally that I used. You can see one right there, and then I put one over here on the edge. And then the wires are zip tied up on this little panel here. So came out really clean. I also want to point out while I'm under here, I don't think I've shown these, But I don't think I've shown these, but I have these cool vent covers. You know, when you get the car, the vents are open and things can fall in there. These little vent covers just stick in place, and I got those on Amazon. I'll throw the link to those down below as well. So now it's all cleaned up and you can see the nice blue glow coming from underneath that seat. So all we have left now to do now is to, well, that was good English. All we have left to do now is to put together the underneath the footwell. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. But while I had these plugs out, I wanted to kind of show what they were. So this is a push pin, right? So this will push inside and then it squeezes together. And then once it's inside, you push this little round piece in and you'll see that it keeps it wider so it won't pop out. Like I said, you can buy these on Amazon. I'll put a link down below to a kit you can buy in case you break these or lose these. It's really good to have these around. I use them on all the cars in my house. It comes with the ones that you have for the door panels and all that stuff. So it's really good to have around. But I'm gonna go ahead and put together the footwell on the passenger side. And then I'm gonna go ahead and install the light on the driver's side. And then I'll move my car into the garage, see if we can't get some better pictures and videos of it in the dark. Before we look at the final product, I just want to point out a couple differences on the driver's side. First off, right back here is a T20 hex that you'll need to use. And there's only 2 of those push pins. There's one here and there's one here. And then this little panel pops down. But there is a T20 hex right there that you're going to need to make sure you have before you get that ready to go on the driver's side. Also showing you from the front that I realized on the driver's side, it was actually easier to do this from the front side. The little panel that I mounted it on is right here in the front. So I got the double-sided sticky tape. I put it on the back side, I squeezed it under, and I put a couple zip ties. The other thing is, and you can't probably see it, but to zip tie the wire up is a little bit harder because the railing is on the opposite side. So you got to find, there's a little wire cable under here. You just zip tie to that cable and everything will be tucked up out of the way. All right, so that'll do it for today's video. Right here at the end, I'm gonna put the car in the garage and roll the windows up so it's nice and dark so you can see it. But just wanted to, while I was out here, again, remind you, this is from Abstract Ocean. Again, I'll put a link down below. This is the Ultra Bright Model 3 and Y rear footwell lights. They go plug right into the footwell lights up front, so they'll come on and off with the footwell lights in the front of the car. Really good product. Stay tuned and make sure you subscribe to my channel. Select the bell down below and, throw a like on this video, and I will make sure, dog hair. I will make sure that I do a review down the road, let you know how these lights are going. Everything else that I've put in this car I really like so far, so we'll see if these do a good job. I've never bought anything from Abstract Ocean, but I probably will again in the future, just simply because the shipping was super fast and it looks like the products have been really well built. But that'll do it for today's video, other than the shots of the car in the dark to see what those footwells look like. But thanks for watching today. Again, make sure you subscribe, hit the bell, like, drop a comment below if you've used these, if you like them. Drop a comment below if you've got a different product for people to check out, and just drop a comment below and let me know what you think of all the stuff I've done to my Tesla so far and what I should do next. If you've got a request for a product that you'd like me to review and look at next, just drop a comment below and we'll get that added to the channel. But for today, thanks, get out, go drive your Tesla, and have a great day.